Welcome to WatchMojo UK, and today we're counting down our picks for the actors who most closely resemble the historical figure that they're portraying. We will only be taking into account their real physical appearance, so actors who underwent extensive prosthetic makeup will not qualify.
Remember our last concert? The crowd were singing our songs back to us. I mean, it was deafening, but it was wonderful.
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
Number 11. Daniel Day-Lewis as Abraham Lincoln. Lincoln.
And come February the 1st, I intend to sign the 13th Amendment.
Abraham Lincoln lived before a president's mannerisms could be captured for all time, so it's difficult to critique the accuracy of Daniel Day-Lewis's portrayal. However, thanks to available archive photos and memoirs, this famous method actor was able to bring Lincoln to life in an Academy Award-winning biopic portrayal.
Why, for instance, is this thus? And what is the reason for this thusness?
A picture is worth 1,000 words, and Day-Lewis had little more than that in order to channel the pensive, objective, self-aware, influential, and articulate 16th President of the United States. But the English actor's screen presence is so strong that all he needed to excel in this historical drama, other than his excellent acting chops of course, was extra facial hair.
Just this once, Mrs. Lincoln, I demand of you to try and take the liberal and not the selfish point of view.
Number 10. Cillian Murphy as J. Robert Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer.
Don't underestimate the psychological impact of an atomic explosion. A pillar of fire, 10,000 feet tall, deadly neutron effects for a mile in all directions from one single device. Dropped from a barely noticed B-29, the atomic bomb will be a terrible revelation of divine power.
When Christopher Nolan cast his longtime collaborator to lead this massive biopic, he didn't need a lot of heavy prosthetics to transform him. Cillian Murphy was J. Robert Oppenheimer and perfectly channeled the brilliant physicist. He naturally possessed Oppenheimer's piercing blue eyes and dramatically sharp cheekbones, and by committing to a strict diet to match the scientist's famously gaunt silhouette and donning that iconic pork pie hat, the visual transformation was complete. This uncanny resemblance was astonishing, and it made Murphy look like a historical photograph brought to vibrant life.
Albert, when I came to you with those calculations, we thought we might start a chain reaction that would destroy the entire world.
I remember it well. What of it?
I believe we did.
Number 9. Michael Sheen as David Frost. Frost Nixon.
Now, if the subject were to say yes, well, he's rather a big fish that swims in not untricky waters.
When it comes to playing real-life British figures, Michael Sheen is practically a cinematic chameleon, but his turn as television host David Frost in Frost Nixon might just be his visual masterpiece. Without hiding behind heavy prosthetics, Sheen managed to perfectly mirror the legendary broadcaster. He naturally shares Frost's prominent jawline, expressive eyes, and that famously cheeky dimpled smile. Throw in some period-accurate costumes and that perfectly feathered 70s hair, and the transformation is absolutely seamless. While Sheen's mastery of Frost's distinct voice and mannerisms definitely elevated the performance, his striking physical resemblance is what truly sold the illusion.
Right, wait, just so I understand correctly. Are you really saying that in certain situations, the president can decide whether it's in the best interests of the nation and then do something illegal?
I'm saying that when the president does it, that means it's not illegal.
Number 8. Kristen Stewart as Princess Diana. Spencer.
Well, anyway. Hello again.
Hello, Darren. Is everybody there?
Any casting choice for this role was bound to be scrutinized, and it only got worse when it was announced that Kristen Stewart would be taking the reins. Fortunately, Stewart completely silenced all doubters. Between her mastery of that shy head tilt, the melancholic gaze, and the delicate facial features, Stewart proved to be the perfect canvas for Diana's likeness. While her acting chops carried the heavy emotional weight of the film and earned Stewart an Oscar nomination, her physical resemblance during those tension-filled holiday scenes was downright uncanny. It's a stunning performance that captures both the glamorous fashion and the deep vulnerability of the beloved royal figure.
They take a lot of photographs of you, don't they? The only portrait that really matters is the one they used to put on the £10 note. When they take that one, you understand who you are, my dear, as currency.
Number 7. Helen Mirren as Queen Elizabeth II, the Queen.
I envy you being able to vote. Not the actual ticking of the box, although it would be nice to experience that once, but the sheer joy of being partial.
Sometimes it takes royalty to play royalty. Well, acting royalty, but still. Helen Mirren's widely celebrated portrayal of Queen Elizabeth II didn't need to rely on distracting special effects or heavy prosthetics to succeed. Instead, the production leaned heavily on her natural resemblance to the famous monarch during the late 1990s. With the addition of the signature coiffed hair and classic royal wardrobe, Mirren became a complete mirror image of the late Queen. From her poised posture to her subtle and restrained facial expressions, the visual accuracy was so astonishing that it practically blurred the lines between reality and fiction. It earned Mirren her third Oscar nomination and her first win.
You don't think that what affection people once had for this institution has been diminished?
No, not at all. You're more respected now than ever.
Number 6. Stephen Fry as Oscar Wilde. Wilde.
Another glass of brandy. I find that alcohol taken in sufficient quantities can produce all the effects of drunkenness.
It's almost as if the famous 19th century playwright was somehow reincarnated a century later solely to play himself on the big screen. The beloved Stephen Fry shares Oscar Wilde's famously imposing height, his heavy-lidded eyes, and his rather prominent facial structures to an absolute T. Making the connection even stronger, Fry naturally possesses the same witty and intellectual energy that the literary giant was so famous for. With perfectly styled hair and period-accurate clothing, Fry was considered the most obvious and conventional choice to play Wilde, and we're glad they went with him because this is just creepily accurate.
In writing a book or a play, I'm concerned entirely with literature, with art. I do not aim at doing good or evil, but at making a thing that will have some quality of beauty.
Number 5. Gwilym Lee as Brian May, Bohemian Rhapsody.
Remember our last concert? The crowd were singing our songs back to us. I mean, it was deafening, but it was wonderful.
Fittingly, this Queen biopic proved to be the crown jewel of one-to-one casting. While star Rami Malek had a few vocal detractors, there was no such fanfare for the supporting cast. For example, Joe Mazzello, whose lanky frame made him a natural fit for John Deacon. But even he doesn't look as picture-perfect as Gwilym Lee's Brian May. There's just no mistaking that chin. Throw in a convincing wig, and it might as well be May himself up there on stage. The likeness is good enough that it'll leave you wondering, is this the real life or is this just fantasy?
We're a band. That's what bands do. Album, tour, album, tour.
Well, I need a break.
Number 4. Ben Kingsley as Mahatma Gandhi. Gandhi.
I am, therefore, an attorney. And since I am, in your eyes, coloured, I think we can deduce that there is at least one coloured attorney in South Africa.
After this, they may never be able to make another high-profile movie about Gandhi ever again. That's because, quite frankly, it's hard to imagine anyone playing the part as authentically as Ben Kingsley. We're not even talking about the acting. On a pure physical level, he looks like a photo of Gandhi brought to life. It's nothing short of remarkable that someone in the modern day has the activist's exact nose and body type, let alone that Kingsley's also an actor who was in the right place at the right time. Based on the Academy Award he won, it's safe to say he acted as good as he looked.
I am aware that I must have given you much cause for irritation, Your Excellency. I hope it will not stand between us as men.
Number 3. Eddie Redmayne as Stephen Hawking, The Theory of Everything. For this film, Redmayne accepted the challenge of playing the theoretical physicist with a debilitating case of ALS. Despite being offered the role without an audition, he prepared for months by binging on documentaries and video clips of Stephen Hawking.
I have 2 years to live.
Sorry?
But Redmayne's hard work and dedication to perfecting Hawking's speech inflections and mannerisms only supplemented the physical similarities.
Hold on. Who is talking to me right now? Is it you, or is it a sentient computer pretending to talk on your behalf?
It's me.
After seeing the film, Hawking reportedly emailed the director to praise the portrayal, saying that there were certain points when he thought he was watching himself. It's no wonder Redmayne earned the Best Actor Academy Award that year.
Does that mean that there is a universe out there where I am smarter than you?
Yes, and also a universe where you're funny.
Number 2. Gary Oldman as Sid Vicious, Sid and Nancy. Can you tell which is the actor and which is the musician? Back in the 80s, Oldman bore such an uncanny resemblance to the Sex Pistols' Sid Vicious that they were practically indistinguishable. However, despite the physical likeness, Oldman had no interest in the musician or his genre, and, according to the DVD commentary, had to be pressured by his agent to take the role.
You really think you can buy Sid off of me?
But once he accepted it, Oldman went all in, starting a crash diet so he could even more closely resemble the practically emaciated musician. While that ultimately led to his hospitalization, the performance Oldman delivered is eerily spot on.
That car's fun looking, man. That's something else.
Number 1. Robert Downey Jr. as Charlie Chaplin, Chaplin. Although Charles Chaplin's career spanned over 75 years and quite a bit of Hollywood film history, the average moviegoer knows him best from his time as a silent film star. And although Robert Downey Jr. did an admirable job speaking and acting as Chaplin the man, it's the non-verbal language that stands out most. Everything from Chaplin's posture to his silhouette was duplicated for authenticity's sake, since Chaplin was such a physical actor.
God damn you, Chaplin, what are you trying to do to me?
In addition to mimicking his affectations, the dedicated Downey Jr. also learned tennis and took violin lessons for some scenes.
Call this one out.
And since Downey Jr. looked the part as well, the final result was practically perfect. Can you think of any other actors who would be perfect for a biopic? Let us know your casting in those comments below.